This is the first mod I've ever made. I ask that you have some patience with the bugs as you find them. Installation is through the custom installer. You can choose between the version with the optional music mod or the version without. By default, you'll download the version without. I did this because the optional music mod is quite a large file as far as mods go. Some people have reported that the file doesn't fully download for some reason, and I see no reason for people who don't want the optional music mod to suffer. If you have the optional music mod and you notice some bugs, try re-downloading first to see if this fixes it. In general, I've made the game more challenging through 4 major changes. The vanilla game had enemies standing around a lot. Sometimes they would press the attack, but a lot of times they would take a beating without argument. I've increased the AI so that the enemies are more aggressive. They're more likely to use vanish evade rather than just getting clapped. All enemies now have better stats. This includes level, health, ki, stamina, increased damage dealt, decreased damage taken, and for certain enemies, increased movement speed. Cell and Boo have been given life regeneration as well. The vanilla game had some enemies that only had a few supers with no ultimates or evasives. I made it so that every enemy has a full roster of supers to use as well as an evasive. Most enemies have 2 ultimates, but some only have 1. I also added transformations where it made sense. Leveling is now more difficult for the first 20 levels. It starts out being 3 times as difficult, but quickly falls in line with the vanilla game. The number of attribute points given have also been changed. The first 21 levels give you 3 points and the remaining levels give you 4. You end up getting the same number of attribute points at the end anyway, so the only real change is consistency, basically. Other general changes that have been made are as follows. I changed as many fade to white commands as I could to fade to black. This is for you, people who play in the dark. I maxed out nearly every time limit. Any parallel quests that used to use time limits to trigger their ultimate finish will now trigger so long as you never drop below 10% health. I've added a few Easter eggs here and there. I won't spoil them, so have fun finding them. The learn rate of ultimates, skills, and evasives have been increased to 60%, 70%, and 80% respectively. Story mode exclusive changes are as follows. I've changed a few flags. In the original game, I was constantly beating on enemies at 1% health because I was waiting for the dialogue to finish. How am I supposed to believe Frieza's the strongest in the universe when he's getting knocked around? Why do I win a fight against Mira just to have the cutscene show him hardly damaged? I didn't like this, so I changed the flags that trigger dialogue. Now dialogue will play sooner. For certain missions with extraordinarily tough enemies, so long as you survive for a certain amount of time, you'll win. However, if you get them down to a certain amount of health, you'll achieve the ultimate finish, which gives double experience and Zenny. Note that surviving against Beerus isn't enough. You'll need to actually beat him. In the story mode, I've added the do or die system. When you drop below 25% health, your items will be locked so that you can't heal. Also, 1 out of 4 events will play. Either your skills will be locked, you'll take 15% of your max health as damage, you'll take an increased 25% damage going forward, or you'll get a boost based on your player's race. Majins will take 25% less damage, Saiyans will deal 25% more damage with basic melee attacks, strike supers, and strike ultimates. Humans will regenerate ki faster, Namekians will heal faster, and Frieza's clan will deal 25% more damage with their basic ki attacks, ki supers, and ki ultimates. And yes, these boosts do stack with the race attributes. I should mention that if you win under the do or die system, you'll achieve the ultimate finish and get double experience in Zen. Time rifts have been changed as well. Enemies are now at a much higher level, so I'm not expecting you to complete them at the same level you used to be able to. Additionally, training with Vegeta now gives twice the normal amount of experience and Zenny. If you stay above 25% health, you'll unlock the ultimate finish, which gives you triple the normal amounts of experience and Zenny. Guru's missions will give twice the normal amount of experience in Zenny as normal by default. However, if you defeat all the enemies, you get quadruple the normal amount of experience in Zenny. This is meant to incentivize you to actually fight the enemies. The optional music mod is comprised of music from Dragon Ball Kai, Dragon Ball Super Broly, FighterZ, and a few other pieces from other Dragon Ball media. I've also added remixes from Android Orchestra, Styzmask, and PokeMixer92 to name the major composers you'll hear. If you want to see all the changes I've made, you can check out the massive document I made detailing every single change. And no, I don't expect you to read all of it. I don't really expect anyone to read more than a page of it, honestly. I've added it just so that if you have a question or want to know what music was used, you can quickly find the answer here. There is one game-breaking bug I should mention. Whenever you install the mod, for whatever reason, the mod tells the game that all missions should be unlocked, including parallel quests, time rifts, everything. And I've gone through the code, and I've made sure that it says, hey, this should be locked, but it doesn't want to listen. This means that at some point it has an argument with the game, and that pops up after you fight Majin Buu. When you defeat him, for some reason Trunks doesn't appear in the time nest. I'm assuming this is because the mod is trying to say, hey, this should be unlocked, but the game is saying no, it should be locked, and so they're having a bit of an argument. The end result is that Trunks isn't in the time nest. The only fix I've managed to find for this is downloading a save editor and just locking it yourself. That's everything. You should now have all you need to play the game. Again, if you find any bugs, be sure to let me know. Thanks for downloading the mod.